We here? Yeah, I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consort Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. Yeah, I'm here. While I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear, because a lot of y'all can't hear. Yeah. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode of My Thoughts. This is My Thoughts 265, and as the title states, Women in the Church. Okay, let's look at the ancestors, and we'll get straight into this. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching.
One thing you have to get through your mind and keep it. Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception.
Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception. May the ancestors rest. May their soul continue to rest. And may their spirit continue to be lifted to the ancestors. Okay? Now, women in the church. This is something that is very devastating to deal with. But again, I didn't make it up. I'm going to give you just a couple of scriptures that people who anoint them with different type of powers and different type of whatever they're called when you appoint somebody to something, the different jobs that they appoint them with. The appointing ship, or if I know that's not a word, but whoever in charge of appointing people to certain things should come under scrutiny and question. Okay, that's the clergy. Whoever is appointing these women to do anything when it comes to teaching, speaking, doing anything when they have to be boisterous in the church, they didn't read their Bible. You hear me? And I'm dealing with their husbands now. And the people that should be in charge of clergy should be nothing but men, because this stuff is very sexist. Okay, it's misogynistic. Okay, that's simple as that. This is all male dominated, and this is male driven. This is for male chauvinists. All the religions is dominated and populated by male chauvinists. Okay, that's rule number one. The reason why the woman is unfavored and she's unfavorably likened in the church, and she can never be nothing but just a woman, because she was made, this is a lie, but she was made after Adam. And matter of fact, some of Adam's DNA, which they say his bone, it was a rib, was pulled out of Adam to create this woman. You hear me? So you'll forever be a servant or a helper to this man. This is how the story goes. Now I didn't create it. So you will never be on the same level as a man. And the Bible says it. I didn't. I'm going to show you one of the scriptures. I'm going to give you two, in fact. Number one, I already went over this one, but I'll give it to you again. 1 Corinthians 14:34. Whoever is appointing people need to read this. 1 Corinthians 14:34. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. Can't even speak. And if we learn anything, and if they learn anything, let them ask their husbands. This is what the Bible say. I didn't. Let me give you another one. Okay. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Okay, 1 Timothy 2:12. I didn't make it up. I'm going to show you why whoever wrote this stuff is nothing but men, European men at that, because European, he does not respect his woman. He doesn't see her as an equivalent to himself. He does not see the woman as being equal to the man named God, which is the white man. Okay. Now they say a little girl named Eve She's the one that had, I'm sorry, not Eve. Mary was the one who birthed this dead white man named Jesus. And she still don't get held in the same regard as Jesus. Nowhere near. You hear me? So God has a mother, but she's not really that important. Never speak about her, never, we know who she is because that's the way the story is told. But she's to no regard. You hear me? So let's look at this. This is a sister in church. Her name is Jamila Gooden. And this is why brothers would say, hey, a woman can't speak. When I say brothers, I'm talking about just the man. I'm just talking about the male gender now. This is when all the fellas got together and say, hey, the women can't speak. It's too much estrogen out there. She'll take something personal that other people wouldn't take personal. For instance, we both in the same clergy, okay? And this presiding bishop, he said, hey, man, I see you. I want you to be next in line behind me. Instead of somebody who thought they were going to be, he picks a whole another person out of left field. It's just two of us. But the person who was next, the favorite, he throws a curveball and he picks this guy who's not been properly trained. He said, I want you to do it. A man, he'll take it personal to himself, but he's not probably going to go any further than that. If you do that to a woman, they have cat reflexes and cat senses to respond to things very quickly. They're going to have a problem with that. They're going to voice it. So for the men to protect the woman, they said no. Obviously, they thought that because they wrote it down in the Bible. You hear me? Not me. I wasn't there when they wrote this stuff. The Bible. So let's look at the lady, Jamila Gooden. She has a problem, and she's going to air it out right there in the tabernacle, the cathedral, all these places, synagogue, the temple. You hear me? The mass church, all this type of stuff. She's going to air it out right there. Let's look at it. I don't own the video. You can find it and watch wherever you can in its entirety. This is a short. I believe this is a teaching moment. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions and scrutiny. And if you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe because it won't cost you a fee. Let's look at this.
Woman from Atlanta that tried to come in between me and my husband. This woman says she's...
Now, listen to this. She said a woman from Atlanta who believed she was going to come in between me and my husband. Wow, that's peculiar. Quite naturally, churches bring people in from all across the world. If they say they got a gift and people been knowing them as having this gift, they bring them in. They go all to Charlotte. They go to South Carolina. They go to North Carolina. They go to Memphis. They go to Virginia. They go to, everywhere. Arkansas. They come up on to Alabama. They go to Texas. They go to St. Louis. If you know that they have a gift. Same thing with the brothers. You got Brian Carn, all these people. They bring them all around if they believe they gifted. Juanita Bynum is one. She said a lady from Atlanta who thought she was going to come in between me and my husband. Why is she saying that? Let's continue, African people, and see what's her plight. You hear me?
A prophetess. She got a word for my husband.
A prophetess who said she had a word for her husband. Wow. That's peculiar. Because normally, church institutions bring these women in and they start giving words to everybody. Now, no man has ever stepped in front of one. Move, get out of the way. You ain't got no word for my wife. You're trying to come in between me and my wife. Now, it's probably happened occasionally, but I'm saying that's not a natural thing. When a woman go to saying she's prophesying for people, quite naturally, normally the man or nobody coming away, get out of the way. You're trying to come in between me and my wife. But this woman said that a prophetess is trying to come between her and her husband. She must have said some disparaging things like, hey, your wife, her mouth is big. Your wife is all wrong for you. You're very calm. Your wife is this boisterous, opinionated woman, very loud, unpleasing. She might have said something like that. I don't know. This is just a short. Let's continue. You hear me, African people? It's sad. This is why I say let the woman be silent. Let's continue.
A said, no, you ain't got a word for him. You got a word for us.
And people sit up and applaud this nonsensical garbage. You ain't got no word for him. You got a word for us. If a person is prophesying, you believe in God, you in the business of God, you up there with a mic in your hand, you believe in ministry. If a prophetess came to prophesy, you let her go. That's very disrespectful. No, you got a word for me and my husband. No, I got a word for Bernie. You can sit your ass down somewhere. I'll take some tea if you don't mind. You got any tea back there or water? That's it. This wasn't no hookup. You hear me? This lady was exercising her gift, and you're going to disrespect God like that. See, this is what I'm saying. God is the man or the woman who speaks for God. So in her mind, she's handcrafted her a God, who is this lady, Jamila Gooden. She's handcrafted her God, and see, her God don't play that. See, she's her God. Look at her. Look how she looking. That's God. Her God don't play no prophetess prophesying over Bernie. Your God might, but hers don't. Because God is whoever speaks for God. Let's continue, African people. Every time you hear it, you understand it more and more. God is the person that speaks for God. It's quite simple. You just handshake you one that you like. I get drunk, so my God get drunk. I do a little weed, so my God do weed. He smoke weed. Because I'm God. I'm just like God. I'm in the image of God. Let's continue, African people. This is a damn shame.
Natasha Davis.
Called her by name. Come on, sister. You got to do better than this, Jamila, Miss Gooden.
I told you, I'm not your typical first lady. This first lady fight. And if I catch you in the street, I warned you.
I'm not your typical first lady. Number one, you shouldn't be up here. If you're a first lady, I can't say she can't be a first lady because they obviously believe in the business of church. So she's some pastor's wife that will make her a first lady. So I can't negate the fact that she's that. She should never have a chance to speak to anybody unless being spoken to, especially if it's a male. Number one, she shouldn't have that mic in her hand. I just read you the 2 scriptures that'll deal with her. Okay? That's number one. Number two, she's out of line for addressing this. This is the wrong forum. You could have brought this out at a picnic. You hear me? Juneteenth picnic. Down at the YMCA when you give out jackets and after everybody's gone, not in front of everybody. Later on when we, packing up the remainders and stuff like that, you could have spoke about it then. You don't come out here like this. Got the wrong first lady. I fight. Excuse me? Do you have any scriptures to so we can recollect and we could, cross-reference what you're saying in the Bible? Because you got to be biblical when you on somebody's pulpit. You hear me? This lady is outright wrong. She should not be up here with no mic in her hand. This is an abomination. You hear me? Let's continue.
I warned you. I'm a Brooklyn chick. That'll never change. I'm just an anointed Brooklyn chick. And I'm coming for that ass.
Sister Jamila, Miss Gooden, you done got up there in the Lord's house, which is no Lord, but your husband's house. And for you at the time, you're the Lord because you're speaking. You done got in your own house, which is God's house, because you're speaking for God at the time. And you done cursed in God's house. Your house, I guess. Sister, you got to do better than this, queen. See, this is what's starting to happen, though. See, the men are starting to be homosexuals. Excuse my language. That's not a shot. I'm just saying. The men are homosexuals in the church. This is what the church makes out of our men. Look at the people. Start looking at some of these funny-looking people when you start looking at church and ministry. The men are women. So the women are turning into the man. She's masculine. She going to fight for her husband. And her husband couldn't say, hey, don't get that speech. You go up there and get that speech, I'm going to sit your ass down somewhere. He couldn't even stop her because she been telling him, I'm going to talk to the people about that. Look at her. You can't, this man, whoever she married to, Mr. Gooden, he can't handle her like that. Because she wouldn't be up here ruining that good name that the Goodens have. And his parents was the good ones, ruining that name that all these people carried. I'll fight and I'm going to whoop your ass when I catch you. Excuse me? Ain't this the house of the Lord? Everybody should have got out and left. Power and everything should have got shut off. Turn off the power down at the Goodness Church. You hear me? They not doing no God's work. They doing their work. But at the end, I bet you say, let's raise an offering. See? Let's move the collection plate now. I'm sorry, my wife got a little hot. No, you're wrong, brother, because you didn't read your own scriptures. 1 Timothy 2:12. But I suffer not a woman teach, nor usurp the authority over the man, but to be in silence. Be in silence. Shh. Okay, let's go to this one. Let's go to this one. 1 Corinthians 14. Let your woman keep silence in church. If she need to say anything or want to learn, let her learn from her husband. I didn't see Mr. Gooden up there. He couldn't even get a prophecy. A woman came, she named her name. A woman came from Atlanta to give out prophecy. And she said, hey, you ain't got no prophecy for Bernie. You got a prophecy for me. I'll leave that here. This is why women don't belong in church unless they doing things that they can do according to scripture. You hear me? That's my thoughts on the video. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom, Consort Moon. You already know what you're going to get me. Step in this room, you're not done with Kanoom. This is what I do, and I love to do it. And before I take back what I said, I add some more to it. This is not to take God from you. This is to restore spirituality, which was taken from you at the time religion was given to you. If you knew about spirituality, you wouldn't follow this crap. Because this lady, Jamila Gooden, she has a following. You hear me? This brother that was her, I don't even know who her husband is, but Mr. Gooden has a following. That was a big place she was standing up in. Cathedral, super church, mass church, whatever you want to call it. That was a big place she was standing up in. And it was big media because people covered it. That's how I found it. You hear me? If you were spiritual, you wouldn't be into this crap. Because, see, in African civilizations, the first deities, or you call them gods, were in the image and likeness of African women. Have you ever heard of Nut? N-U-T. What about Mut? M-U-T. Have you ever heard of those names? Have you ever heard of Mayat? M-A-A-T. Have you ever heard of Hathor? H-A-T-H-O-R. You hear me? That's Het Heru. That's the wife of Heru, the wife of Horus. Have you ever heard of any of these names? These were African women. So before you get to worshiping these dead white men on the cross and praying up to the Lord, see, I'm going to kick you in your ass. Het Heru didn't speak like that. There's nothing that say Nut or Mayat was finna kick somebody in the ass. Show me where it says any of that stuff at. So you got to get back to peace before you get all this fire in you. And I'm the man that killed Jesus. That's a murder story. You can put that stuff behind you. That silliness and sickness that the European put on you. You hear me? And I'm not trying to turn to no black man stuff. But obviously, the white man doesn't care about women. And as you can see, our women is full of hell, which they don't want to go there, but they full of hell because the men are soft in the church and the women look like her. Ready to kick your ass, even in the church. Because after she did that, she can just, next week, just give it to the Lord. Pray for repentance, pray, please, Lord, don't do it. I know I whooped her ass, and I want to take that back now. I can't take the ass whooping back, but I'll take the actions back after I already did it and let me on in. And she'll be right next to you in the same heaven. You hear me? A doper, a bank robber, a murderer, a rapist. You and her will be right next to each other in the same heaven out in the sky. Like, share, subscribe, comment. I thank you for watching. If you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe because it won't cost you a fee. Education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. So before you pick up a weapon or a silly religion such as this, pick up some knowledge. If anybody's offended by anything you heard, I mean every word. Yeah. See y'all tomorrow.